Hello and welcome, film fans. What's poppin'? I am Luke of Cheap Shot Entertainment, and this is Quick Shot Reviews, dedicated movie podcast, which I record almost every week. Like I said in previous episodes, if you're keeping tabs due to family bereavement and close family members, I have not been recording. I've still been going to the cinema, but I've not been recording, so I'm catching up as we go along, and it is a treasure trove of what I've been to go and see. And this week's episode is Salem's Lot, the fourth time that this has been remade. Does it need to be remade? There's one thing about Stephen King is you can't really get it wrong unless it's Chapter 2. But I actually still enjoyed it, Chapter 2. It just wasn't as good as the first one. And it never will be because, there's all that childhood stuff. But this, Salem's Lot, also has and plays on the childhood fear of the living dead, vampires, etc., etc. Really decent. And it is set in the town of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem's Lot, rather, so hence Salem's Lot. It's an author returning to his hometown to get inspiration for his next book, only to discover that the townspeople are being attacked by a bloodthirsty vampire. Doesn't pull any punches, this one. Yeah, it's quite interesting. But if you've seen Salem's Lot once, you've seen it 1,000 times. It doesn't do any different, but I still enjoyed it. Still really, really enjoyed it. It's very well done. The general consensus doesn't agree with me. It's not going to knock any walls down. It's not going to make people go, oh my goodness, this is the best version of Salem's Lot that there's ever been, ever. Because it's, it's still just a Salem's Lot. But Gary Doberman does do a decent job of setting it up, putting things in, and just making it watchable. And it stars Lewis Pullman, who does a fantastic job as the main character, Mackenzie Lee, and Jordan Preston Carter. The child actors in this are also very, very good, and they drive the story along. Alfred Woodard plays Dr. Cody, Bill Camp plays Matt Burke, and John Benjamin Hickey plays Father Callahan. Like I say, the child actors are not out of place in this film either. And, that does help. There isn't a big part for them, fortunately, but it all leads to a crescendo at the end, which is extremely satisfying. Just wave after wave after wave. Yeah, so it almost, it plays on the idea that it's basically the main character is Stephen King. He's gone back to his hometown. Most of Stephen King's books are set in Maine, which is where he grew up, and this is no different, I believe. Like I say, it is probably the fourth version of Salem's Lot, and yeah, just gets pipped to the post on an abandoned house, which has just been sold to a mystery buyer. Just your basic Nosferatu story. Gets shipped over. There's soil from his home country, and that's important for vampires. There's a basement. They get delivered in a box to the basement. And like I say, nothing new, but nothing untoward either. And yeah, it's been Gary Doberman's goal to make this film for a good long time. There's lots of things to love about this film, but there's also a lot of I can see lots of people being disappointed by this one because of their love for Salem's Lot. I mean, don't go into it thinking, "Oh, I really like I really like the first one, so I'll go and see this one." It's not going to give you any different. It is not going to give you that look at things. If you're younger and you want to see a film that is a bit more tame to get you into things, then absolutely this is one to take up on that and go and watch. It's sanitized heavily because it's an HBO special. I think it probably could have been better as a TV series. Go back to the Exorcist film that came out earlier this year. And then you look at the Exorcist TV show. And the TV show is very good. Only 2 series of the TV show. That is unfortunate. I think the film could have been that 3rd series. Why not? Let's elongate it. Let's see what happens. This could have paid dividends, I think, as a TV series. I mean, look at Cobra Kai. They only made 3 Karate Kid films. They've made 6 series of Cobra Kai, and they've managed to stretch it. I mean, but yeah, this I think probably could have been better as a TV series. But if you're a fan of vampires, and like I say, you've got youngsters who would like to get into horror, this is probably a good place to start. And but yeah, it just needed a bit more development, I think. It felt a bit rushed in the end. The set pieces are good. The sets are good. The pacing is good. But I think it just needed a bit more polish. I think it just needed a bit more polish, a bit more time. There isn't really any need to do another Salem's Lot film anyway, in my opinion, because it's been done. just get your own idea, do something different, or do a Salem's Lot 2 25 years later, or whatever. Seems to be the thing these days. Some are good, some are bad, some are middling, or you could do a completely original sort of take on things and do something different. Unfortunately, Hollywood doesn't necessarily do that, and even TV studios want a piece of the filmmaker's pie now, don't they? After Netflix have done all these things and Prime and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's mediocre. Like I say, worth introducing a youngster to, as long as they're not too squeamish. Then this probably could be something that you could watch with them. And that's pretty much all I've got to say about this film, because there isn't much more to say. I mean, it's Salem's Lot rated R, according to IMDb. I can't actually believe that, but yeah, because it's not actually that violent, that it should be rated R. Anyway, our next film on the timeline is Smile 2. Join me for that one! Hooray! And I will see you next time, film fans. Goodbye.
Hiya.